The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Hey Teddy, have you noticed how little attention science and health issues get in the media?
Totally, Edgar, yet science information is very important.
Yeah, for sure. That's why the Health Journalists Network is here.
How can they help?
They are a group of journalists dedicated to advancing public understanding of healthcare issues through impactful reporting on health and science.
Oh, really?
Yes, they meet up every month with scientists and researchers, policymakers, and activists at the science media cafes. They then relay what they discuss to the public.
Does that benefit us?
Oh yes, very much so. This helps with health and science literacy for a healthy Ugandan society.
Okay. I love getting informed about science and health issues. Health information makes all the difference between life and death. I'll look them up and engage them.
That's great. They are based all over the country.
Oh, okay. That's interesting, and they should be making real impact.
They are empowering health communities through journalism. Journalists can save lives just like doctors.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Amacha amalungi abatukereddeko ku mpewo zaffe za The Alternative Dig Talk Faroida bikobirege manya gange olunaku lwa kusatu enaku z'omwezi ziri 3 omwezi tuli mu gwa July ate omwaka tuli mu 2024 mbaniriza mu Mighty Global Updates ngenda kubanga ate mpita itamu mwebye ebyakoze amawulire olunaku lw'eggulo awo nno bwe nabamaliriza omugenyi wange oba omugenyi waffe n'omumbejja luwedde Lilian agenda kubanga ate atwegattako mu studios so ngenda kubakubiriza nnyo era okubategeeza tuya live on Facebook osobola kubanga ate ogendayo notulikinga notufollowinga ate n'ogobera discussion kubanga egenda kubeera youthful egenda kubanga ekwatagana ku bavubuka so munnange it is your time since population census yatulaze nti Uganda has a young population so tujja bakubiriza nnyo musobola okubanga ate mwengejengira mu discussions zino sobola okubanga ate mubeera ba citizens abayina omugaso eri ensi yaabwe you know information is power so bw'obanga toyina ky'omanye ekigenda mu maaso mu ggwanga toyina butya bw'osobola kugizimba so tubakubiriza nnyo musobola okubanga ate mugobera discussions eziri informative ng'ate zibongerako okubanga ate mu ndowooza yammwe n'engeri gye muba mulabamu ebintu era nja kubakubiriza nnyo musobola okubanga muvisitinga website yaffe eri www.alternativeuganda.org mujja kubanga ate munnange musoma articles ezibeerayo mwoyo ngero okumanya biki alternative byekola ate nabiba biki ebiba bigenda mu maaso mu ggwanga ngenda kubanga ate ntandika neggulire waliyo eri abadde ku parliament kinajjukirwa nti wiiki ewedde omukulembeze wa ggwanga Uganda His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni yavaayo n'agaana okusayininga ku budget eyayisibwa ya 72 trillion n'agizaayo n'ayita ababaka abaali bagenze mu luwumula olw'omwezi omulamba n'abagamba bakomeewo mu parliament olw'ensonga nti ayina ebintu byatakkiriziganya nabyo ebyali biri mu budget eyo era ono mukulu yagaana okugisayininga n'agamba ababaka bakomewo basobole okubanga ate bagiteesaako babagitereezaamuko awo no balyoke bagimuddize era nga olunaku lw'eggulo olwabadde olwokubiri enaku z'omwezi nga 2 omwezi gwabadde gw'omusanvu era ababaka baatudde wali museeteserezo w'eggwanga Uganda era bano nga bateesereza ku appropriation bill ya 2024 eyo no ye budget eba yakomezeddwawo mu parliament era nga omukyala speaker wa parliament Anita Anet Among yatandise n'okusoma ebbaluwa omukulembeze w'eggwanga gye yawandiikidde parliament ng'amenya ezimu ku ezo ensonga lwaki yaganye okusayininga budget eyo era n'abaako ne questions zaakola era mu eno bbaluwa omukulu president w'eggwanga Yoweri Kaguta Museveni yategeezezza ababaka oba parliament n'agamba nti parliament emaze emyaka 4 ng'ate essala essente mu bukyamu kino no yenga era n'ategeezaako nti kireetedde ensi Uganda okufiirwa trillions 3.1 trillion mu myaka ena. Era ono n'ageraageranya n'agamba nti ezo ssente zisobola okuzimba amakubo oba enguudo 9 ez'enkanankana ne Kampala Masaka highway. Oba n'agamba nti enguudo ezisingirako ddala awo obungi ng'ate ezitenkana na kikula kya Kampala Masaka highway. Era ono mu baluwa ye eyasomeddwawo omukyala Speaker wa Parliament yategeezezza nti bintu bingi nnyo ebiri mu Parliament okugeza nga indiscipline mu budgeting committee, n'ategeeza nga corruption eyeetanidde nnyo mu Parliament, ate ne kubanga ate ba parliamentarians oba babaka nga basabotaginga emirimu gya gavumenti. Era n'agamba nti ebintu bino bikole bikendezebweko okulaba nga ate batambuza eggwanga lino okugenda mu maaso. Ababaka nno babadde si basanyufu n'akamu, abamu bavuddeyo ne bagamba nti nga lwaki omukulembeze bonna abatwayiza awamu n'abo abatalyangako nsimbi n'abatwayiza awamu ng'abayita abantu abali corrupt, ate era n'abakomezaawo biro eri bo abali corrupt ate baddemu okugitereeza. Abamu babadde banyiivu, era okugeza nga omukulu Ssemujjunganda yavuddeyo n'agamba nti ensonga ezimu omukulembeze ze yaleese kugeza nga ensonga ya roko gye bazzeemu, kubanga omukulembeze yagambye nti companies ezo ze baagana okusasulwa ssente zaabwe baziteekemu mu budget era zisasulibwe. Ziro ensimbi ezoogerwako ziwerera ddala billions 705. Naye omubaka Ssemujjunganda yategeezezzaako nti Roko company ya bwannannyini abali mu executive, era ng'agamba nti ensonga lwaki budget eno yakomezeddwawo si gamba nti nsonga ya ggwanga, naye ensonga ey'abantu abamu aba-influencinze president olw'ensonga nti Parliament yali yajjamu essente ezo okubanga zibasasulwa olw'ensonga nti tebalina services ze baakola. Naye yadde nga ababaka beekyakyanye ne banyiiga era baakomekereza nga basasudde oba nga bayisizza appropriation bill eno eya 2024, era ng'ebimu ku ebyo bye batereezezza kwe kubanga bateekamu companies ezo okuzisasula ssente eziwerera ddala 705 billion, era nga lwoko kweze ssente etwalirako ddala 300 billion. Yadde ng'abamu bagamba nti eno bizinesi y'aba abantu era teyamba ggwanga, naye munnange ate bagiyisiza. Era tusuubira nti omukulembeze w'eggwanga anytime ayinza ogiteekako omukono olw'ensonga nti byonna oba zonna ensonga ze yarwaizinga mu budget eyo kubanga zigonjoolebwa zaatereezeddwa bulungi nnyo, era tujja kubanga ate tumulabako ng'avaayo ng'agiteekako omukono. Yadde ng'ababaka baavudde ne bagamba nti Parliament tekyayinayo muzinzi kubanga omukulembeze w'eggwanga kyayagala okola kyayisaawo, era nga bagamba nti bwe banaagenda mu maaso nga batambula bwe batyo Parliament ya Uganda ejja kubeerera ddala ng'ate tekyayinamu nsa yadde. So nno omuntu yali ewuunyiza lwaki President Museveni yagaana okusayininga budget, ensonga ndowooza mwazirabye bulungi nnyo olunaku lw'eggulo nga Parliament erimu egenda mu maaso. So nno byonna era bwe bagambye munnange abo abakkiriza tuyise appropriation bill eno 2024, munnange bonna ne bakkiriza ne bagamba tukkiriza bill eyisibwe eddeyo ate ewa president sobola okuba nga ate budget egenda mu maaso. So nno kinajjukirwa nti budget gye tubadde tutambulirako ey'omwaka 2023-2024 yakoma ku Sunday, era kati wano ennaku zino tubadde tutambula tetulina budget olw'ensonga nti budget twalibadde tutambulirako ate omukulembeze w'eggwanga yagaana ogisayiningako ate n'agikomyawo mu Parliament. So kati omuntu yeebuuza gwe nga munnayuganda olowooza Uganda etambulira ku ssente zaani oba ku budget eriwa, naddala nti budget twalibadde tutambulirako for these past 3 days ate munnaye teriiwo. So olowooza gwe nga munnayuganda essente zirwaninga Uganda zivaawa mu zino ennaku nti budget ate tenabeera ng'etandikawo kubanga ekola. Ngenda kubanga ate ekyo ekibuuzo nkikulekera ngende kugulire lyange eddala ery'omubaka eyali RCC w'Erubaga, omukulu eyali RCC w'Erubaga omukulu Anderson Burora, munnange yavaayo ku lunaku olwa Monday olw'eggulo naye ku mutimbagano gwe ogwa X n'awandiika ng'agamba nti ate aba policemen bamuzinzeeko ewakaawe era nga bamusaba agende nabo. Munnange era kukakkana ng'abakulu abo bamututte era olunaku we twakeeredde olunaku lwokubiri oba olwa Tuesday omukulu oyo ng'akuumirwa wali ku Kira division ku poliisi ya Kira division wali Namugongo gye bamugye emisana ne bamuzayo mu maka ge okubanga bamukolako search olw'emisango gy'agenda okubanga ate awere n'emba nazo era we bamugye mu maka ge ne bamutwala ate ku CPS wali ku poliisi ye mu Kampala we ya recording the statement ye era ne batutegezaako nti omukulu oyo aliwaawo for safe custody era nga ibo tebamuyinaako obuvunaanyizibwa naye ng'abantu abamuyinaako obuvunaanyizibwa ye parliamentary police era nga ye yamusindisaawe asobole okuba nga ate akuumibwa era balooya be abalabikiddwako mu kamera bategeezezza nti poliisi tebakkiriza kwogerako na client waabwe wabula nga bo bagamba nti era bo batunuulidde essaawa weziwerera ssaawa 48 ng'omukulu waabwe oba client waabwe tannatwalibwa mu kooti ate nno awo bajja kubanga ate bakola amateeka nga we galagirwa omukulu ono avunaanibwa emisango egy'okubanga ate atema ku bantu ebigambo oba okukozesa obubi social media kusinziira ku spokesperson Patrick Onyango era ng'agamba nti ono bamuvunaana omusango gw'okusiga obukyayi era tetunnamanya ani complainant naye nga gwo omusango ndowooza twagutegedde bulungi era omukulu Frederick Onyango yategeezezza nti anytime eno wiiki we naagwerako ajja kubanga ate atwaliddwa mu kooti atandika okukolebwako ng'amateeka okuwozesebwa lwaki aba asiga obukyayi ku bantu so nno ekyo nno tuwokuzaako emabega katono nnyo omukulu oyo aze alabikirwa ng'akola tweets oba katuziyite tweets kubanga omukutimbagano gwabadde akozesa okusinga gwa Twitter ng'ayogera nnyo ku corruption kuva lwe bamujja mu ofiisi oyo bwa RCC e Rubaga era ng'omukulu oyo agamba nti munnaye balina okubanga ate beegatta wamu okulwanyisa obuli bw'enguzi era nga yavaayo n'agundawo n'ekisinde kye ekyokuba nti ate munnaye bayambako NRM okulwanyisa corruption naye ng'ate ebyamuviiriddemu bye tugenda kubanga ate tufollowing a story ntulabe oba anaatwalibwa mu kooti olunaku lwaleero oba enkya oba Friday okusinziira ku mukulu bwe yatutegeezezzaako Patrick Onyango so ngenda kubanga ate eri eggulire ndikomyawo sobole okugendako wali mu Nabwerwe Nansana munange ne my eviction zikyagendera ddala mu maaso era ng'ate abantu bakyakaabira ddala amaziga ebyalo okuli Nabweru 1 Nabweru South 2 ne Nabweru South 3 munange bakyakaabira ddala amaziga era nga bagamba nti n'abaana baabwe tebakyasoma bano ne baweebwa ennaku 21 basobole okuba nga ate baamuuka ebifo ebyo bye baali bazimbyemu oba bye baali bayita amaka gaabwe era nga Nema yabawoninga ne bagamba nti ennaku zino 21 zinaggwayo nga ate temunnavaawo bajja kubanga ate munnaye bajja bakozese ate ebimashines byabwe okulaba nga ate bademolishinga amayumba g'abantu abo kakati munnaye mu bintu ebyayononeddwa mulimu n'amasomero abaana mwe babadde bagenda okusomera nga abazadde beeraliikirivu nnyo nga bagamba nti abaana baabwe aba P7 baali baregisteringa ku masomero ago agamanyiddwawo era nga agamba nti tebamanyi wa wakudda kubanga kati abaana baabwe tebakyasoma era kizibu n'okubanga controlling abaana kubanga abaana kati batandika kulonda kasasiro nti omwana afuluma ewaka ku ssaawa emu kuba tomuyinaako control toyitayina kyagenda kukola waka ate n'akomawo n'akomawo ssaawa ng'emu ey'ekiro ate nga bagamba nti abaana bano baali babakuumira mu masomero kyali kibayambako abaana baabwe obutoonooneka so ne bagamba nti abaana ba P7 baamala dde okuregisteringa tebalina wantu walala wonna we basobola kubatwala mu masomero baana bano kubanga ate baddamu okuregisteringa kino kitegeeza nti nno kati bano abaana bagenda kubanga ate bafuna dediya kubanga tebalina walala basobola kubanga ate bagenda nga kukola registration kubanga batuula ebibuuzo ebyakamaliriza ebya PLE so nno bwe buzibu obuli eye mu Nansana oba mu Nabweru era nga bano bagamba nti abamu beeweze obutavaawo mu bifo ebyo Nema byegamba nti Lutobazi era nga bagamba nti babaddewo mu bifo ebyo okumalira eddala emyaka egiwera 20 era nga bo baabyapa era nga ettaka lyabwe tebalyesenzaako bwesenza wabula baaligula era nga bano twabalabyeko ne munnamateeka waabwe Eric Bosa era nga ono yasindikiddwa omukulu Elias Lukwago okulaba nga ate abatwalira document eno okuteekako emikono gyabwe basobole okuba nga bagitwala mu Nema esobole okuba kubanga ate ebeerako kyebakolera. So tujja kubanga tulindirira ate ekinaava mu interaction eyo ey'omukulu lawyer oba kanso w'abantu abo abatuuze ab'enabweru ate nennema tusobole okulaba nga oba banaasobola okuba nga ate bayambibwa. Okuvaako wanene ewaffe e Uganda okuddako ku muliraano e Kenya munnanga ate demonstrations zikyagendera ddala mu maaso abajenizi bo munnaye bagamba nti Ruto alekulire. Bano nno kinajjukirwa nti batandika demonstrations zino ennaku z'omwezi nga 18 omwezi gwa Julaayi ate omwaka guno gwennyini gwe tulimu era nga demonstrations zino zikyanyinyitira ddala era nga bano bagamba nti yadde nga president waabwe William Ruto yavaayo n'agamba nti tagenda kusayininga ku financial bill bo bamwagala alekulire era nga tebaagala kintu kirala kyonna era olw'ensonga eyo olunaku lw'eggulo bazzeemu ne beeyiwa ku nguudo mu matawuni okugeza nga Mombasa, Nakuru era nga wonna tulaba nti amaduuka gonna gabadde maggale ne mu Kisumu era nga abantu babiri be baakasuddemu akaba olunaku lw'eggulo era nga kiri okusinziira ku Human Rights Commission ey'e Kenya batutegeezezzaako nti okuva demonstrations zino bwe zaatandika okutuusa olunaku lw'eggulo abantu 30 be baakalufiiramu ate nga abalala bayitirivu balina ebisago ebyamaanyi era nga bano munnaye bagamba nti bo si baakubanga baziikiza demonstrations zino paka nga omukulu William Ruto alekulidde era nga bagamba nti bo si bantu bakozi ba bikolebero yadde nga bagamba mbu olunaku lw'eggulo babasindiseemu abantu ababbi ne batandika okubba amaduuka era balabiddwako nga bagajambula omubbi omu eyataasiddwa poliisi okubanga ate munnaye talusuulamu kaba naye nga babadde bamuli bubi. Abantu bano demonstrations zaabwe zaali peaceful okutuusa olunaku lwe baalumba parliament ne bagikumako omuliro side emu awo no poliisi nayo neeyongeza ku lyani. So nno byebyo ebiri e Kenya tujja kubanga ate tubigoberera tulabe butya bwe binaaba biwedde oba bwe binaaba bigguse naye nga munnaye bannakenya we stand with you. Tetwagala kubanga ate tukondoninga with the police brutality egenda mu maaso e Kenya. Abantu bwe babanga bali peaceful bannaye mubakwate bulungi tusobole okubanga ate tumuwuliriza ebintu byabwe. Ngenda kubanga ate nvaayokko nsobole okumaliriza neggulire erya kabaka waffe waneeno mu Buganda. Abakulu b'obusolya olunaku lw'eggulo basitudde nga bagenda e Namibia okubanga ate bakuba ku mmunye ku kabaka waffe agambibwa nti tali mu mbeera nnungi nnyo. Kino kyaddiridde olwaka vidiyo omu kabaka wa Buganda Ronald Muwenda Mutebi owookubiri gye yavuddeyo ne bagiyisa ku mitimbagano ng'abuuzaako subjects be era nga bategeeza nti gyali era tali bulungi nnyo naye ate embeera gy'alimu teyeeraliikiriza kubanga yategeezezzaako nti ali mu kuimprovinga era nategeeza nti ali Namibia ku directions z'abasawo be abamulungamya asobole okubanga ate agendako eyo awummulemuko emirimu egya kingdom asobole okubanga ate arecoveringa bulungi nnyo. So abakulu bano abasitudde okubanga bagenda e Namibia bwe banaaba batuuseeyo bagenda kubanga ate batuweera ddala ekituufu oba mbeera ki kabaka wa Buganda gy'abaalimu era abannayuganda ndowooza mujja kubanga ate mujjawo okubuusabuusa ate akavidiyo ka AI ate oyo si kabaka ate kabaka waffe tayogera nga talina glasses byonna mujja kubanga ate abakulu bano babitutereereza bulungi nnyo. Ngenda kubanga ate mpumulamuko katono nnyo bwe naaba nkomawo nja kuba nkomyewo n'omumbejja luwederiya n'omugenyi waffe ow'olunaku lwaleero. Very good morning.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Hey Teddy, have you noticed how little attention science and health issues get in the media?
Totally, Edgar, yet science information is very important.
Yeah, for sure. That's why the Health Journalists Network is here.
How can they help?
They are a group of journalists dedicated to advancing public understanding of healthcare issues through impactful reporting on health and science.
Oh, really?
Yes, they meet up every month with scientists and researchers, policymakers, and activists at the science media cafes. They then relay what they discuss to the public.
Does that benefit us?
Oh yes, very much so. This helps with health and science literacy for a healthy Ugandan society.
Okay. I love getting informed about science and health issues. Health information makes all the difference between life and death. I'll look them up and engage them.
That's great. They are based all over the country.
Oh, okay. That's interesting, and they should be making real impact.
They are empowering health communities through journalism. Journalists can save lives just like doctors.
Hi, welcome to the Political Dice.
Empishi ya byobufuzi.
It's controversial,
Purely political.
well researched,
Accurate and global.
Oyagala bya parliament oba council.
Ya state house oba ghetto.
Ani ayuga ku ground.
Ani bwe babuze.
Okimanyi nga Dr. Kiza Besigye aleese amaanyi.
Olwofadda bafutoli abateeseemu obuvaazi.
Oba yo DP eri kuki?
Olwojema.
Bano ba MKCG bo baddawa.
Abo bafuna CDF baamala tebabanja. Olwo baba ate bange bali kuki?
Abo bo akina kulabisa simayanga posturing tebabiri bali mu structure building. Naye ate ono ye.
Ani oyo oba?
Ye ali kuki?
Oyo tumuleketa gamu afanyiga mawu.
Ebe na birindira nokuda Political Dice ku the alternative TikTok nange teditenjo ewamune
Farida Bikobere
buli wa Sunday
sawa 2.
At first, we hit your gadgets with our state-of-the-art digitalized mobile studio with the debate on the road behind the wheels. Later, we launched our magnificent studios located on Plot 1A, Sewagude Close, Lukulinanganda, Machinde, Kampala, where we bring to you our must-watch shows like The Mighty Drive, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m., Hotline, Mondays, 7 p.m. As for legal matters, Twins at Bar, Tuesdays, 11 a.m., Wednesdays, 6 p.m. is Afro-Caribbean Link, where we connect Africa with the Caribbean. Voltage on Thursdays, 7 p.m., featuring a youthful panel. Interface with Dr. Kiza Besigye every Friday, 12 p.m. with his call to action against injustices. Snap Talk, Saturdays, 6 p.m. with the trio. A must-watch, The Political Dice, Sundays, 8 p.m. with the duo that never stammers, and so much more. Watch us live on all our social media platforms. We are the Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Hi, Rogers. Can I ask you something?
Shoot.
What does corruption mean?
Well, summarily, corruption is abuse of public power for personal gain or for the benefit of a group to which one owes allegiance. For example, when a public office is abused by an official accepting or soliciting a bribe. By the way, private people can be corrupt too, like bribing police officers to escape fines.
Okay. So exactly how does that concern me?
Well, do you pay taxes?
I guess, yeah. What does that have to do with this?
Everything. Because those taxes you pay are supposed to facilitate services you use, like water, electricity, roads construction, medicines in hospitals, name it.
Okay, that is much bigger than I thought. But it can be stopped, right?
Well, yes it can, although it may not be as easy as it sounds. And here is the reason why. Corruption roots are grounded in our country's social, political, economic, bureaucratic traditions and policies.
So, what has kept it going this long? I mean, why don't we stop it?
Well, the main reason why it has been here for so long is because institutions are weak, either as a result of poorly defined ethical standards of public service, weak administrative and financial systems, or ineffective watchdog agencies.
What can we do to stop it?
At a national level, we must focus on strengthening the independence and effectiveness of public institutions that fight corruption. At a personal level, we must commit to never giving a bribe.
I promise I'll never give a bribe.
Well, that's a great decision you have made. Me and you now have to spread this message to all our friends. If we all do our part, corruption will be no more.
This message is brought to you by Alternative Digitalk.
Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Tukolikeyo mulamuko wakyali ku program The Mighty Drive negatiddwako omumbejja Luwedelilya n'omugenyi waffe w'olunaku lwaleero Mr. Brian Atuheirwe. Tugenda kuba nga ate twogera nsonga z'abavubuka and your participation in governance as compared to the youths of Kenya. We are comparing abaffe abawano n'ab'e Kenya. Mulowooza bannayuganda tukoze ekimala oba we are comfortable? You can be comfortable mu mbeera nga teyeetagisa muntu kubeera comfortable, but you just choose to be comfortable. So munnange ngenda kukubiriza nnyo twegatteko ku Facebook ya live at the Alternative Uganda oba Digital TV. Comment yo mu comment section tugenda kubanga ate tugisoma bulungi nnyo. Omukulu Brian ajja kubanga akuddamu. Tuyinza okwogera nsonga za luzungu Luganda okubanga ate discussion yaffe tufavoringa fenna so okubanga to covering audience eri very wide. So ngenda kubanga ate nyaniriza omumbejja atulamuseeko ayaniriza omugenyi waffe discussion tugitandikirawo mu maanyi.
Farida abaana b'e Kenya bakyatulazeeko nti bo ekintu kino bakitegeera era bakiyingira bakyetegese
ekituufu
ne batukakasa nti bo bagenda okuyingira olwokaano luno nga kye bakola bakimanyi
nga balina goal
nga balina goal. But a very good morning viewers, it's the Mighty Drive. Olunaku olwaleero mwami Atuheirwe Brian mu studios yatuddemu dda tugenda kuba twogera nsonga nga mubejja bwazitulambikidde, but also tetujja kulemako nako ku nsonga ya activism wano mu Uganda. Abamu baga nti ba activists abamu balabyeko nga bavanga nga bagamba nti ebiri e Kenya nawane ewaffe bisobokera ddala kyangu nnyo, naye ate abamu activism oyo bamukolera ku social media ku ground tebatuuka era tebalinnya. Ajja tubuulirayo ekyalowooza ku nsonga eno. Abamu mbw emiggo gyabajjamu tebakyagenda mu bintu ebyo, but also n'abamu baga nti ffe tusobola just lwakuba twetaaga bannaffe tusobola okutambula nga tuli bangi. It's the Mighty Drive. Katwanirize mukulu Brian. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good.
So you called me to talk about to compare Kenyan youth
and
the Ugandan youth.
Yes.
I think that one, they come from different economies, different cultures, and different everything, and therefore they are bound to behave differently from how we behave here in Uganda. Kenyan, what you see, I could be counted amongst the millennials and our young ones who follow us, the Gen Zs, who were born in 2000s and late 90s and early 2000s. Now there's even Alpha, the young, the ones we are carrying in our hands. So the Generation Z of Kenya was born when Kenya was transitioning first and foremost from the Moi era to the Kibaki era. The Kibaki era was the most progressive era in Kenya because the economy developed, their schools developed, and their infrastructure developed because Kibaki literally was working on economic model to make sure that Kenya moves forward. And then they bump into the Uhuru Ruto government, which in the first term did very well. So they had 15 years being looked after in a very, very, very different Kenya because then Moi had gone, Moi had been fought and had gone who was very oppressive. So every person who came to power knew that the people of Kenya have power to even remove the most notorious leader like Moi. So they do not have this fear and fever and, to have in Uganda, where we have had a person for 40 years. Even us, the millennials, we are all born in his regime. The disease, the alphas, we might even go to the beta and we are still there. So it's a different situation, different that you cannot compare us to them. It is like if you compared Ugandan is under Ugandan is with Kenyans when Kenyans were under Moi. It was different because they were killing people, they were doing everything, they were kidnapping. Now in Kenya to kidnap a person, it is very abnormal to kill. They killed here 58 people in Kampala the other time, November 2020, 58 people as per government reports. I think there were more than that. And then the Kenyans, you kill 30, and you can see the reaction and how the president has to defend himself, make a statement regarding that, because for them, where they have reached, every Kenyan's life matters. Yeah. For us, our lives seem not to matter. That's the difference. That's part of the difference before we go to other differences. But also our cultures are quite very, very subjugative. For example, in Busoga they say, Omusaja Chakoba Nange. In the Toro they say, Omusaja Tayangu. Here, you want to give, a woman wants to give someone something, they must kneel down. That's Uganda. So you compare all our cultures, how been brought up, and how maybe a Kikuyu Luo person has been brought up who stays in Nairobi. You find that maybe even we are being curtailed from our homes because our homes teach us to be subjects, not to be citizens. Because there is more freedom, but also you forget that our education levels and their levels, they are more educated than us. That's one. Two, the use of technology is higher than ours. I was watching I followed the campaign between Ruto and Raila. You would see a person like in Kajiado or in Turkana. You see a young, now I'm saying like a person in Karamoja, or a young person in Kotido, or a young person in Pader. You'd see a political rally like in Pader, and you'd see more than 10 iPhones, more than like 20 good Samsung phones on a political rally covering live, and therefore their use of technology and their internet penetration is higher than ours. Therefore, their trickling of information and how they can organize and mobilize is better than ours. So they become better because of such factors, I think.
Okay. Some attribute it to the governance issue in Kenya, and we compare it to where we are right now in Uganda, where people still question the powers of the president in certain issues.
So like I said again, the president of Uganda has made himself a king. That's why he has made his son a prince, and his wife a queen, and his daughters princesses. He's trying to create a kingdom. He is here to stay, and when he goes, his son should come in. And I think when his son goes, the grandchild should come in, and that's how it shall become a kingdom. Now, the Kenyan population knows that after 10 years, you have to go. And therefore,
that's what the constitution says.
Yes, and therefore, the reaction of a person who says you're temporary and then who says you're permanent, because some people have even claimed that actually Museveni and his family must be permanent. It's some of us who are saying they are not permanent, they must leave. And therefore, if I come to Digtalk TV to talk from here, I know after 10 I will leave. But if I am a host like you, I know you're here tomorrow, the other day. You might even get used and start bringing your photographs in the office of this place and portraits. Me, I can't bring mine, but you might be tempted to say, in your customer office, you put your portrait. Me, I can't bring my portrait here. And therefore, the reaction when I'm in here and when you're in here is very different. I think and therefore that's the governance issue. That's why we are governance-wise. But also to say that in Kenya's Kibaki tried to rig the election, and the reaction they had, the 2007 reaction, and therefore every president is scared to go back to where they were from, because here what we have had is a war, not a mass uprising of the population saying no. For them, they have seen it before, and it's now about that's 2007 to date. It's about 20 years. So if they can do it close after to 18 years, it means they can even do it. So if you're a president, you're aware that you're sitting on a time bomb, and therefore you must respect citizens and their voices. Here, we haven't had that.
President Ruto, this is his first time. Now you already bagamba, no, we are tired, you must go.
President Ruto is misbehaving.
Where is the misbehavior?
Tawulira.
But
Tawuliriza. Ulira. I follow Kenyan politics quite often, very well. So there are people who think that they were born to be president, to be ministers in his government, and who are very, very arrogant. People like Kimani Ichung'wah, people like Ndindi Nyoro. You are the chairperson of finance in parliament. That's Ndindi Nyoro, and they tell you that this bill is bad. It will bite us as Kenyans, and you continue to push on people campaigning for it. And whenever they respond to you, you abuse them. And Kenyan will retaliate, and you will see the results. And that's why you saw the results, because they were warned 2 months before. But they would go to church. Gachagua says, "Do not. This thing is dangerous." That's the deputy president.
Yes.
And then when he says it's dangerous, he's threatened and even treated. Say you cannot use a chopper, for example. You can't use government facilities. He says, okay, you can use them. Me, I'll continue addressing rallies and talk to our people on what should be done economically and the model we are trying to promote. That is him. On the other hand, the leader of majority, Kimani Ichung'wah, is saying, they see these people who say those things, say them on phones, I eat cafe, Java, eat KFC. So the question is, if I'm eating KFC, and you find out you want to pass a bill that adds a shilling on what I'm eating, I must be bothered.
Yeah.
Because you want to deny me food and you want to say that you're helping me. So some people in government are arrogant, and the problem is the people who are arrogant are the ones who are close to the president. The people who are arrogant in government are the ones close to the government.
Does that mean that President Ruto doesn't listen? When Kenyanese asked Ruto to remove the office of the First Lady, he listened. And
No, it was after pressure. It was after pressure.
But does that mean
But
that
then
he didn't
listened.
listen? He listened.
Listened and acted
you see, listening, you do not wait for fire to get this building for it to put extinguishers.
And Uganda, we've put pressure, and then
You haven't
things are
put
not
pressure.
changing.
It's not enough. It's not enough. The pressure you put is not enough. The pressure you put is being on Twitter and saying something. Then someone goes to radio, like, I've come here, say something. There is no much pressure. There's no much pressure. The Ugandans have put pressure, and you couldn't say Mabira. That pressure is what we need.
If the Kenyanese demonstrators, that problem was the finance bill, and the president has said, yes, I have listened, and so I will not sign.
Yeah.
Why are they still on the...
In the process of telling him to remove the finance bill, he did other mistakes. And he must pay and he must answer. Because first and foremost, he wouldn't have waited for people to go on the streets, kill some, people enter parliament, carry messages. What was he waiting for? What kind of president is that one?
But the president has advisors. Should we blame the president himself, or why we blame the advisors? You see, whatever Kabaka wa Buganda, aina katikiro, never minister Mengo, ne members of Boruchiku. Now, he is the one who chooses the Katichiro. Yes.
He is the one.
Yes.
So the advisors of the president are chosen by the president.
Which
He has the power to fire
And hire.
and hire, provided he notices, because you see, when you're a leader, you must have a sharp eye. Provided he sees that what you're advising me is actually not true or it's wrong.
Yeah.
In the event that you fail to detect the wrong characters in your government and you make mistakes, you're the number one liable. You're number one liable. You can't say that the same things that people say in Uganda. Nti Museveni muntu mulungi naye abamwetorodde bebabi anaabaleta
And
abo
that also
anaaleeta abantu abo bamwetorodde appointment ya designing.
Yes.
Kati bagamba nti olaba abamwetorodde abo bebaleeta obuzibu. Wagamba kahura mu bino omugoba notuleetera omulala. You can't say that you can hire and fire, but abakwetorodde bona gwe mulungi. But gwe mubi gwabaronda gwe mubi.
Like in the case of corruption here in Uganda, all about president has the will to fight corruption. All about abamwetolode
an IGG.
Honorable Betty
Honorable Betty Kamya.
Yamufuna atya?
Yamufuna atya?
Betty Kamya yali FDC.
Yes.
Nakola ekibiina ekikye.
Uganda Federal Alliance.
N'akirekawo.
N'agenda wa?
NRM.
Nga alabye nti ideology ya NRM ekyuse oba nti waliwo bye bamuwaddemu bitonotono?
No.
Ndowooza yasalawo kikola nga Honorable Mao. Olwanira muli munda. Bw'oba olina kyoyagala okutereeza, tereeza nga oli wali mu system.
Kankugambe, if you're compromised, because I can able say that Mao
was compromised
and Betty Kamya were compromised. You can't get a compromised person into a position where there are no compromises. Because fighting corruption doesn't need gloves. Betty Kamya is on record on radio, either KFM or the Capital Gang, condemning corruption in Uganda and condemning Museveni for perpetuating it.
Agamba mu kunoonyereza kwe konna ku leading mu State House.
Danti abantu abali mu corruption
kakate ekirala olina president abaana be bakulu omukazi we akola minister wa education.
Yes.
President abeerayo n'obuzzukulu bujja kumukyalirako n'okumubuuzaako akosa biliyoni 2 za ssente buli lunaku agamba alwanisa corruption. Number one corrupt person is Museveni.
He earns 3 point something million.
No, I'm saying what his home uses is 2 billion shillings per day. If you add supplementaries, everything, 2 billion shillings is 2,000 million shillings
Per day.
Per day. Webuza as wabani. You have a president who in the last election, I was a candidate in Kanungu, would give a person 30,000 to vote for a president, woman MP, and directly elected MP. If you can buy your votes, that's the first corruption. Actually, the first person they should get in the corruption scandal, only that he is immune, would be Museveni, the chairman of NRM, for all they have been doing. You have a president who makes the Secretary General of NRM enter cabinet meetings. They sit in cabinet meetings, and yet cabinet is not a political party that shouldn't be in cabinet. Because now if you say Secretary General, the Treasurer General sometimes sits in cabinet. You have a president who has a place called Chambogo, where there is chairman of the national chairman, where money is spent, and that money is not NRM money, it's actually taxpayers' money. Why are they fooling? Ekibiina kiri wali kirina signatories tebagala bali babeerewo. So chairman akola mu nsawo ezize atunda nteze n'abawa nti bagende bakole emirimu gye bakola.
Ebibiina bifuna ssente okuva mu gavumenti.
Kyenkugamba essente zigenda Kyadondo tezigenda Kyambogo. To confusing bibiri. No.
What if they divide the budget?
No, they
ate balina ababaka bangi mu parliament. We believe nabo
sigambye Chengambye. NRM headquarters are known.
Yes, tuzimanyi.
Kyadondo.
Yes.
Esente za NRM zigenda wa?
Kyadondo.
Tezigenda Kyambogo. To confusing bintu bibiri.
So Kyambogo zogamba ziva walala.
Actually zimwe z'obungu bw'omusoro zigenda Kyambogo. Actually neyo NRM secretariat tesobola kwe financing nga teyina za state. Batayina za government za Museveni zakozesa mu State House n'abawako nakwata muzebera nako
yagamba bwafuna salary ye atolako
emitwalo
7
nazo omukazi
naziwa ekibiina ky'okukongera okutambuza emirimu gy'ekibiina
so
ku miliyoni ezo 3 atolako
so Museveni abeerawo ku miliyoni 2.5
That's what he told us.
Nga pima kawunga nabagamba kano kasala bwoti okalya nobeerawo ngaduka mu State House nagaba mu jogging mu nyumba ngatamanyinda abantu ebisenge byabwe bimuntu basobola okuyimiriramu.
But those were COVID times. We were looking for survival mode.
Yes.
You know, hard times zileterawo kubanga muvayo ne.
Omanyi mu COVID gatanga nti papa we borrowed about 400 million euros. 400 million euros. Very, very quickly. to borrow, to supplement. When COVID started, the kaunga wakaraba nebijanjaro gabifanana corruption nawandika thread ku aponye no yafa nerugunda aterugunda yanzira actually nerugunda ne Janet bawo abantu bijanjaro bifunga tubira bafena corruption scandal eyo tewaraje ogera ko mu COVID eye bijanjaro just twera biranyo actually kwera biranyo toro abakenya bo tuyise ko tebera bira fetwera bire twachiva koda twabya bijanjaro bivundu ne kigwa.
I think some people batunulire byaliwo in 2020 ne bagamba no, if we go back on the streets 2 days abantu abasoba mu 5 bafa. So
kakati
enkola ya Kenya it's quite different from the one of Uganda.
Omanyite Uhuru Kenyatta ne Ruto president batora mu ICC 2007 wachimanyi
yes
omanya abantu abafa mu Kenya that time so roza abantu ba Kenya bayirabide
abachukuyu n'abajaluwo
berabide bachajukira ebyaliwo batidde kati bwogamba nazadde omwana nafa sidemu kufuna urubuto olulala olizaala mwana
tajja kuzaala
ate bw'ozaala omwana nogamba byanduma nnyo siddayo olifuna baana babiri
no.
So muve ku bantu balina baana basatu mwenga muna bwerera te mwenga mukabira wano.
System ya Kenya kwetambulira nti bagoberera amateeka because otunulira n'ekyo okuba nti kooti yavaayo negamba no kakati amaje gaveyo.
Tewaliwo omuntu
police tewaliwo
tewali kikukiriza. Tewaliwo amateeka rule of law oba freedom gye batarwanira teriyo. Ekyo mukyerabire nti ogenda kubeera wakewo ofune ddembe n'eddoboozi gye baliwulire bulungi nti kubanga wabadde wako otudde tekisoboka kubayagala ddembe nebyo byonna bye mwagala mulina kukola ekya generation Z oba tukolesa Museveni kye yakola ekyokukwata emunda nogenda Luweero nokukwata emunda nogenda mu City Square nokuba omuntu nofuna kyofuna ng'olwanye ate nekyo kikirizibwa
nebagambe yenkola tekyakola
anajo ate anagamba tekyakola Museveni yagamba tekyakola
Dr. Kiza Besigye I've had him
agambe ekora batagamba tagikiriza mu kugikozesa oyo Besigye ng'omuntu he says actually guns can remove Museveni listen
right
but
now.
when we remove Museveni using guns we shall replace the guns with guns and the population will never be free Chayogera tagamba tezikora but you see people don't interpret what he says and if you don't interpret very well then you have wrong diagnosis and they have a problem with the sickness because he says guns can remove guns but the problem he has with them they replace guns and therefore people remain under subjugation.
But we've had him several times here.
Tagama tezikora
tekyasobola katiku
agamba teziwa buyinza abantu agamba bano bakwata mundu gwe tuzikwata nze naawe no eturwana tukwata obuyinza tugenda gamba abantu gwe twali turwana amalire dawa kyayogera ko just tagama tezikora
naoza Uganda yalizeeyo mweyo history
ate muragawa
kuwa we tutuuse right now
mutuusewa muvudewe mutuuse obala mutuse wa amanyi nti temukyalagayo nti kyamanyi nti wala mutuse wa amanyi so ge mulagayo kigera bya kibu kyamanyi
population yaffe yeeyongeddeko
watutuuse
compared we bajjira
population yo
nekulaakulana nayo yennyini yeggwanga president yatugaye tuli mu lower middle income state
nga byepimira nga byogerera abantu bali akawunga akasala kuna ku minzani abo bibone middle income economy because you see problem with economics I am not in because I think there's a problem with economics you see if I have they call it GDP
yes.
If I have here emitwalo 8 ngoina bwerere I think they count all of us then get emitwalo 8 then namonsawo bagambe abantu bana bali mu studio bagambe buyumani
nabiri
situfo bera nabiri gwe
no
basirina
kati bino bizimbe biri mu Kampala ebyeruru nakubyani tetumanyi but kubanga nabyo bebe barabyo na middle income economy muri yeyo ngogera ruzungu bwo bakikuba wansinze mfirwa ki change ndinamo shares.
No, but it is part of the development.
So what you're saying is that we must protect the few who have money at the expense of the many who have nothing. That's what you're promoting.
No.
So the development they talk about, like I have already said, the money your parents invested in you to become who you have become, the government of Uganda hasn't even invested half of that money in you. But you see, the first person who invest in a human being, human capital of the country, should be government. That's why I said in many senses you can't count me. I refused it. You can't count me. Because what? Because
so you among the Ugandans that were not counted.
Yes, you can't count me because you know why? You know you shouldn't count me and my children and my wife and everybody. It's
why?
Because I wake up every day, go plan for them. There's nothing government has planned for them or given them. Why are they counting them?
Tebava waka kutambula kubaako njibalaga.
Chichi?
Don't they leave their homes, you and your family? Temuvaako waka kubaako ne jemulaga.
Saswa setemeka.
Definitely.
Zensa sura singa zensa sura government singa zikozesa bulungi nalitambudde bulungi nnyo tonga because for per liter of fuel I pay 1,500. So ogamba nti school fees of my children I have a fees burden on my head.
But we have government schools. Go asala onogamba kamba take them private nemeba take them government because you can afford.
Do you know?
But that doesn't buy you from being counted.
No. Do you know? Now that we're talking about that, do you know how many? You didn't know which government school? Do you know that government schools, some of them, children sit under the trees? You know, my children sit under the tree. If I can afford to, if they were decent, I would take them there. But the schools in government schools are very indecent. You want my children to be seated under a tree when a carol is up, releasing its poop on them. I will not accept that at least. I still wake up every day to fight that it doesn't happen. If it happens, it will be bad. I'm not saying I'm immune. It can happen. But it will be very, very bad of me. And I would have failed them because also I would know that the education is under jeopardy because your schools, for information, when we start, those schools we're talking about, plus all private schools in Uganda, at P1, you recruit 2 million pupils. At P7, only 600,000 do exams. It means you're losing 1.4 pupils every 7 years. So if you're losing 1.4 million pupils, you can never produce a generation Z. You can't, because your generation Z is its face. You see, you are in its face economy, producing its face children, and you're celebrating it, and you want them to appear or work as Kenyans. You're even comparing them with Kenyans who are taken care of. If you go to their counties, the county assemblies and the county governments have schools that you can take your child there. You're sure they will study and go to the University of Nairobi. Even Makerere now has died. She was remaining here. You go to Makerere and see even they are just buildings. You go to Nsibirwa Hall. Look at, you can visit with your cameras and visit Nsibirwa Hall. And you see, you can, if you brought a person from Pretoria University, that you're a master's student at Makerere University, and they visit Nsibirwa Hall, they will think that snakes will bite you. It's a bush. You visit those halls that are dilapidated. You go to Mumbai and see some blocks have since been they are inhabitable. You can't. So you are saying you have universities, you have schools, and therefore we must subject our children to those schools because.
So bamwanga temwagala kwenyigira mu nteekateeka government zeereeta okumanya ennamba y'abantu
abanga
okuba planningira.
Just imagine singa bannayuganda bonna balina mentality ng'eyo ne bagaana okubali.
Actually singa bagaana singa Museveni yagenda singa bona bagamba tetugenda kukiza muntu yenna mu maka gaffe. By the way, defiance is that muzukeno n'okulumu mugambe ffenna tugenda mu kibuga kibire empty afuge emiti. Segamba nti ove waka ugamba nokwekalakasa isoke but tuve waka olunaku lumu tugambe nti encha
teri kugenda mu kibuga Kampala.
Tekuliyo kugenda mu kibuga Kampala. Tekuliyo just one act. Tekuliyo buli muntu aberewe nga yebase. ndabe banafuga emiti.
Do you know Uganda population adala fa living am kibuga Kampala tukola mere ya lero? So kati omuntu gogenda ogana ogenda mu kibuga Kampala agenda kuba yebase wakanga aliachi.
Kati bwe mere ya lero bwogenda kukola ogifuna.
Yes. Chisa mere ya lero. Omanyigwe.
Gwe kola mere ya lero nogisobora. Wala wazuka kumata nagenda okukola nakomonga tajiina.
Nayo lwalero ebuze.
Ngebuze completely niyagenda nebula. Ate gogamba bajiina ogenda mu kibuga kukola.
And tell us thing about the biggest population, your hand to mouth. Hand to mouth.
Let me tell you something. How will it end? Must we end it? For you to end, you must sacrifice. You must maybe say, mbadde niya chapati biri, maybe janjaro kandi chapati emu na amazi mbere wako lunaku luno. Nange joininga abali tugenda mu kibuga. Kataba mere ya lero abali mubasubuza ifurisi bwe yajja wano aba ifurisi abali wabala. Abamere ya lero abakolera ku bezimbe tebabeerawo bafa. Tebamala wikinga tebakola bafa. Ebyo byona byabugwagwa bya kudisa abantu. Kubanga I don't want you to tell me.
Do you know the number of people that suffered during the COVID times?
Okay, what did they die?
We lost
we lost more people to bullets and gunshots than people died in their homes because of no food. We lost more people to bullets, gunshots, and
enjala actually even in the central region nga bagamba ebitundu ebimu waliyo enjala. Tuli mu biseera nga bya COVID-19.
Kankugambe mbachi ekanungu. Nali wano nendaba ekihi nga sibya COVID nga sibyaki abantu balimi nendaba omukyala nga yawako omusajja ntamuwe papali enjala emuruma ekihi ne balya what they call grass, spear grass, omushojo. They were eating it in tea, cooking it.
We wano bali bafumba ebikuta. Ebikuta by'amatoke.
Kati abantu abafumba ebikuta ngo bagamba kale encha tukole kintu nabo bakugambe ejaja kututta kati mufumba ebikuta kwanga mubiyina already. Oba mubitereke mugambe olwokuna tugenda ko tereke ebikuta bya kumande Tuesday Wednesday tugenda mu kibuga. Tuchukole weeks 2 nga bagamba nga abantu bakubuzwa ku macha tebagenda mu kibuga
wabirose kuma mbantu muliro
anakubye mu bantu muliro
choli mukola sawa
choroza
no bwechiri
that's a fact. People are eating ebikuta. It's true. Omuliro gulirida ngo yina mu ngaro ngukumye wawa ngukumye gwetayina ndine kiriti
naye nga tugenda mukumula muko njagala okutegeera otulambulire muko katono singa bannayuganda kyemmanyi gye bali kubanga already oyogedde. That means waliyo bannayuganda abaagana nabo okubalirwa. What impact does it bring to the government? Nadam planning
kati kankugambe so government eno sijikirizamu ndoza soka legitimate yabakaruru ebyakaruru emindu yona so omuntu legitimate omuntu
electoral commission yina obuyinza obulangirira
nebitaliwe birangire tubikirize.
You can proceed with the submission.
Government eno sijikirizamu ndoza ya etwesibako. So kiriko kugamba nto muntu akase akabozi tinogamba kati bwankase kamweko bulungi bigwe. A person wants to rape you and you say since I'm under threat of rape let me
just give in.
No, let me consent. Not give. You can decide to say, but let me consent. You even give consent. He does whatever he wants to do, and you go back home, and you say it's okay. It's okay. It's fine.
After all, he was going to rape me.
After he was going to rape me, so now I've consented. I am okay. Me, I want me. You see, you rape me while shouting at least or fighting. You cannot rape me while saying I've consented. And that's the difference between me and others. You cannot say you have a law in Uganda that the laws work. Yet a person wakes up in the morning and the clause is removed from the constitution as if it is not book. Just removes puts. It's like the constitution. Ajwata ngachi nga not book ye. rough paper. Actually, notebook wakiri kwa kubanga notebook owandika enako zo wandise no kwegendereza. But there is what they call a rough book. Or in mathematics, when I was in O level and A level, we would use to have rough papers. Rough papers are not tied on the paper for marking. No. You leave them in the exception room. Just 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times this one. Then you write the answer there. You say, okay, method, okay, this one is wrong. That's how Museveni looks at our constitution. When he wants age limit to go on, it goes. Term limit to go on, they go. If he wants to insert something about the land, he inserts it. It's insertion, removal, insertion, remove. If our constitution of 1995 was a notebook, it would be very dated that you can't say it's a notebook. It would be a rough book. You can't say those are your notes.
So you and the others who refuse to be counted, which government do you expect to plan for you?
I don't expect any plan from this government. They will never plan for me.
Were you counted in 2014?
Yes.
Why this time? Why did you refuse this time?
In 2014, I was counted as a rich man who was very poor. The questions they ask is that where is the nearest hospital? If it is within 5 meters, that's you're good to go. If you say which you have a school near, you say okay, within 20 meters, that's good. You have clean water. Yes. Did you get out of the country?
No.
No or yes. Now, when you hear their questions and you see how they rate a Ugandan, you see that they do not know anything about Ugandans actually. The results they have, their statistics won't be of help. And therefore, I made an order that my home shouldn't be entered, nobody should open my gate, nobody should enter to my home to be counted. And luckily for them, nobody turned up, so I wasn't counted. But I also had made an order to the gatekeeper and my wife that whether I'm there or not, nobody should count anybody.
Were some of your family members counted?
Maybe my larger family,
siblings or
maybe them, they have their own minds. I was not mobilizing anybody. I was saying the people I take care of and myself.
So mwe mugwa mu bano ennamba eno gye bagattako eyo gye basuubiriza twacountinga bano but mu kugattamu approximately be bano.
They can approximate or they might not. It's their problem. I don't want them. First and foremost, the taxes I pay are not accounted for. You are paying a tax and someone is giving himself 500 million shillings in a commission of parliament. You hear that someone is buying a dress worth money that can look after 4 UP schools, one dress. In Uganda, for information, the generation Z, which you want to happen in Uganda, or Alpha. Now let's first look at Alpha. The Alpha people who are at school, government of Uganda gives them 4,400 shillings, Ugandan shillings per term to look after them. Which kid is looked after by that money?
At least they are doing something.
Is that something? So you want to tell me 4,000?
It is something.
It's below average. It's even below an F9.
The president thought each student was being spent on 20,000, only to find out that they are spending 10,000.
No, it's 4,400 per term times 3. It is even, by the way, for information, people don't know how to read. On the report forms of UP kids, that money is there. It is within the report form.
It used to be 3,000.
Now it was increased to 4,400. But what? And then the inflation rate, because you might increase actually the amount, but the inflation rate has even gone higher than the amount you have increased.
Yeah,
and therefore they want to count my child to plan for them to add them on the 4,400.
Because the next census is 10 years.
Yes.
From now.
I'll be 45. My children, my oldest child will be about 18. So really, he'll be another to them. So
he'll
decide whether to count. But the one who's under my care, if we still have this rotten regime, nobody will count my family.
Okay, tugenda kubanga tumulamuko katono nnyo bwe tukomawo tukyaline Mr. Brian Atuheirwe tukwongera nsonga z'abavubuka. Yadde kale tugamba tuli mu mbeera mbi, but do you think the youths nabo bakoze kye balina okukola oba beekwasa government now role eli pertinent nga citizen wa Uganda ogiganye? You have to be counted as a citizen.
I want to ask a question.
You have
I want to ask a question.
Tumulamuko katono nnyo, you will ask when we come back.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Hi, welcome to the Political Dice.
empishi y'ebyobufuzi
It's controversial,
purely political,
well researched,
accurate and global.
oyagala bya parliament oba council.
ya state house oba ghetto.
Ani ayugayuga ku ground.
Ani gwe baabuze.
Okimanyi nga Dr. Kiza Besigye aleese amaanyi.
Olwo fadda bafutsoli abateeseemu obuvaazi.
Oba yo DP eri kuki?
Olwo jeema.
Bano ba MKCG bo baddawa.
Abo bafuna CDF baamala tebabanja. Olwo baba ate bange bali kuki?
Abo bo akina kulabisa simanyanga posturing tebabiri mbali mu structure building. Naye ate ono ye.
Ani oyo oba?
Ye ali kuki?
Oyo tumuleketa gampanyiga mawu.
Ebyo ndabena birindira n'okudda Political Dice ku the Alternative Dig Talk nange teditenja ewamu ne
Farida Bikobere
buli wa Sunday essaawa 2.
At first, we hit your gadgets with our state-of-the-art digitalized mobile studio with the debate on the road behind the wheels. Later, we launched our magnificent studios located on Plot 1A, Sewagude Close, Lukulinanganda, Machindye, Kampala, where we bring to you our must-watch shows like The Mighty Drive, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m., Hotline, Mondays, 7 p.m. As for legal matters, Twins at Bar, Tuesdays, 11 a.m. Wednesdays, 6 p.m. is Afro-Caribbean Link, where we connect Africa with the Caribbean. Voltage on Thursdays, 7 p.m., featuring a youthful panel. Interface with Dr. Kiza Besigye every Friday, 12 p.m. with his call to action against injustices. Snap Talk, Saturdays, 6 p.m. with the trio. A must-watch, The Political Dice, Sundays, 8 p.m. with the duo that never stammers, and so much more. Watch us live on all our social media platforms. We are The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Tukulikeyo mkuwumula mko tuba tuyingidde ekitundu kyaffe ekyokubiri awo nowenkubiriza gwe munanga ayina ekibuuzo kyo oyina suggestion oyina kyoteesa comment section gikozese bulungi nnyo tugenda kubanga ate tuyitayitamu mu ndowooza zammwe at the end of the show tukyalina Mr. Brian tugendedde mu kuwumula muko adde ayina ekibuuzo he had wanted to ask and tumugamba ajja kubuuza nga tukomyewo. So Mr. Brian, please ask.
My question is very simple. Whether you think that you can have this type of education, investing in 4,500 per child, and then produce a normal, you produce a child that can reason very well, that can be able to go and have the debate that we're having, that can host a show here.
Ate betulaba bafuluma mu universities zitikira nazo kati ziwezi.
How many do we get per university per year? It's not even 10,000.
Makerere etikira wiki emu netikira omutwalo gumu.
Ate gutikira bakulimba. Makerere.
KIU netikira nga 3,000.
I went to Makerere University. The president of Makerere University at its brim is 40,000 students. And we are counting PhD, masters, bachelors, all of them. So Makerere, every particular, as you want to say, might be giving about 6,000 degrees or 5,000 degrees. But also remembering that not everybody who has gone through Makerere, he might have a degree, is as confiscated or as strong as you think academically, intellectual prowess, managing, and that's why Besigye has been saying that the elites, for him he thinks they are elite, but they are not elites. He says the elites are stupid, but I think they are not elites, because an elite is one who can write, produce knowledge, and read. I wonder whether you have seen any paper in the journals that's produced by Macquarie University students, that are more than 20 per month. So if they're not writing, even articles in the newspapers are written by Kainak still, not by these people who claim want to write opinions. So if you're not writing, producing knowledge, I can't call you an elite. Because, and secondly, if you read Macquarie University, hungry first and foremost, you don't have where to stay. By the time you spend 5 years, your degree will be them. Because the stress you go through, you cannot even comprehend anything.
ekitegeeza oba akubye wasoma ku university baba bikuramenga oba tewabi masteringa
Chenkugamba.
Because what you mastered can never get away from you.
Chenkugamba. Kati the moment confidence levels, when confidence, even with women, even with men,
yes,
if your confidence levels go down, there are classes of women or men that can't approach you or that can approach you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because your confidence levels have gone down. Yes, you have the knowledge, but can you ably sit on a computer which you do not have and write an article and have an opinion on a minister who has done something bad? The answer is no, because the society and the economy and everything has beaten you that you no longer have the confidence levels. Having an opinion is a confidence.
True.
Anderson Burora, who is in prison now, in cells now, police cells, can have that opinion of his because it is him, he has built confidence. Another RCC cannot say what he says.
That's why I'm camera.
No, they can't even appear in the media.
But he wasn't saying what he's saying now, Ngachali RCC.
No, even as an RCC supporting government, he was not a usual RCC. He could go to NBS talk, go to NTV talk. He could even manage to challenge some things. Well, by the way, what he forgets that he was suspended not because he was praising the government, but because he was a critic within. So he is stronger, and that one is built over time. The confidence that the speaker is wrong. Another RCC wants to meet the speaker, greet him,
get something.
Get something small. That's it.
But woyogera ku education system yaffe saawa zino batugamba curriculum bagikyusizza ebintu bya hands on n'omwana okozesa obwongo bwe okuresearchinga oba okunoonya information on them, like by themselves.
You know you can change the curriculum. It can be good, but you must put the means on ground that allows the curriculum even to work. You might change this studio and put everything, but your cameras are poor. The photographer will be poor out there. You can have this building painted, done everything, it's okay. But then the panelists you choose don't have content, they can take the population. Still remains a very poor TV, poor media house.
Naye kusinziira ku budget yaffe gye baakasoma mu nkulembeze gye yaganye oteekako omukono baali batumenyedde bulungi butya bwe bagenda okusupportinga UPE schools ne
omanyi kabagenda was constructing but kambuze bakute 300 billion ne bazija ku malwaliro ag'eggwanga because nabo musomesa mu masomero balina kulwala ne balwa banagenda mu malwaliro. It's a system that you do not work in isolation. You must have a road where you move, you must have a hospital, you must have a class where you study from. You must also, if possible, you must have some food to eat at school.
Yeah, true.
Now, if you get 300 billion shillings and remove it from referral hospitals and put it to local, you know local is a private company.
Local investment.
And try to convince me that that has nothing to do with education system. Yet you want to send our children to go to do internship in those referral hospitals. And therefore you're going to produce fake doctors or what doctors? Those doctors will be treating our wives and our children while in schools and while producing. And you want to tell me that has no influence on the child that the Uganda will produce. You have a problem. Only that you don't connect the dots. So yes, you can. So if you're adding schools and you're subtracting from hospitals, you again crippling the education system, because there's no system that works alone. Systems, even in your body, the heart and the lungs and the eyes and the ears work together, and the brain and the spinal cord.
Yeah.
They work together. So if your heart has a problem, you can't say that for me, you see, for me, I have cancer, but my blood is okay.
The honorable members had a choice to cutting 300 billion from the security budget, but they chose health.
Yes, because security is not security. It's insecurity for Ugandans. It's what they used to buy tear gas and beat us and kill some of us. Have some drones come here, take all your stuff, and cross this TV and go. That's what they call security. And for a regime that needs survival, they must keep those services for themselves to make sure that the regime survives. Actually, the security budget always increases, it never decreases. Yes. Do you know why? Because it aids repression. It's not your security. Don't call it security, it's also insecurity.
Oyogedde ku education system nogamba nti education system y'abana Kenya eri more advanced okusinga Kenya.
Then advanced, it's a good one. The schools and the system is oiled well.
Okay.
It's oiled well.
It is well financed.
Well financed.
Okay.
Well, because there is what they call constituency development fund. Even when the counties fail and government failed to provide schools, the MPs of the areas are given some finances which they can use to develop schools or even some hospitals.
Yeah.
So the MP knows that actually this school is okay, then it's doing badly because he's an area MP. He's a local, he is from the village. So he knows. So here, everything is picked from the village, comes to Kampala, to State House, some stolen, and then they return peanuts to the citizens of Uganda.
My question was in relation to education. Omuntu atasomye nnyo because our education levels ziri a little bit. Bana Uganda basomye katutwaliza wamu. Mutugambe nti they do not identify where an injustice is. They cannot know where government is working against them or for them. Nti tebasobola kuvaayo ne rising up like the Kenyanis are doing now.
So there's what called patronage. Patronage is where you use state resources and your systems to make people who should be thinking not think I think. I'm not saying verbatim in terms of description, but I want to describe how it is. So you find in a village there is a jiso and a piso. Those are the educated people from the village. So that village, people who would be speaking for them are compromised because now they are working in security and they are not allowed to speak. That's why Museveni would sit and say now he's forming assistant RDCs and get everybody who has been vocal and place them there. So he makes the governance of the country, the governance structure so huge that he can press and compromise. And therefore, because his security apparatus comes from the village to national, which is not security, which is to target. If you speak in a village, you're targeted and picked by a drone. So you don't even have time to even organize. You want to have one rally like this, you tear gas, pepper sprayed, and they say you are violent. But yet, Moz can have crusades. A Berian can go to Kitugum and have a rally. Nyamutoro can have a Thanksgiving and whatever she wants. So, and then people are made to think that you are either with the government or you're not there. So when you're against government, people think you die in the morning. And they also tell you you're going to die. I was very long time ago. Because at Makerere, 2012, I would be told I would never get a job. I've never gotten one, but I have not died. I was told that the government will kill me. It hasn't killed me. If it wants, I'm available. My head is here. Yes. And to have that resilience is a hard thing in a population of people who are compromised, who are under patronage system. That's the problem we have. Patronage is part of it. But all is not lost. There are some signs sometimes that you can just say, maybe we could try one day.
Tulina ba activists abavangayo okwogera ku bintu ebitatambula bulungi. Right now most of them babivaamu, abalala bagenda mu banoonya asylum.
First and foremost, the people who, for example, I only support Kakwenza to have gone to asylum. I don't support the others. I don't want to mention names because there was no big. The threat wasn't as big as they used it. There also is a problem with activists who are elite activists actually, because the real activists that can't access the German embassy or the American embassy. No, there is people who target, who think because Uganda has become hard, who feel that if I can become an activist for 4 years, my name is known. And then I go to maybe Netherlands, I will survive better than surviving that. But the threat when they were leaving wasn't as real as some of them want to put it. And that's when I'm clear and I'm against it.
Because what only about Gen Z in Kenya, what they took, we are looking at the Gen Z population in Singa, but then activists, they were singa monsongen, and then here in Uganda, activists abamu. Bo bakitwala nti kakati nabo balinga abatuuka.
Bamu activism bagufusa omulimo. Ekyo kizibu.
Activism oyo asobola okukola wano mu Uganda.
Asobola. But olina kunoonya ezo nyanya envundo zijjemu.
How can we nenyanya envundo nezitali?
Ojja zitegeera nti omuntu akugamba tugenda gamba sawa mukaaga. Zitose sawa mukaaga ugamba nze sina transport singa wagogede sawa 5 so stegi twagambe sawa 5 zitugende sawa 5 zituse oliriddawo ngamba ruzungu
twala parliament exhibition ne tusuubira at least for activists banavaayo ne babaako kye bakola but the activists betwala bako bali online and amanya tusobola okugabalira ku ngalo wana
ekyo tekirina tabu buli omu agenda kukola kyasobola abasobodde ekyo abala batakola basobodde ki at least jogera ko parliament exhibition because you can say Agatha, you can mention name Agatha, Toko and Spire. They are not known to be street activists first and foremost, and they haven't pretended about it, but they have fed the street activists information that can make them rise. So rise, if you rise, and even Burora, who is arrested, like I said, has not been on the streets many times. He has only used his platform to say what he wants to say.
Yeah.
You can imagine if we had 5 RCCs saying what he's saying.
One man is.
You see, the first thing is you, and then others. You cannot say I'm waiting for everybody. Up to when?
Organized.
No, ekirala. Organized how? Tukugambye speak up the send.
Because if you look at bana bavubuka abekalakasize Kenya, you would see that they are organized. Waliwo abaleeta ebikola, waliwo abayimirira ku front. Ne wabawo abaleeta ebikola because esebona afunye obuzibu tumuyamba tutya. Unlike here.
Now, you see when you go to the streets and your thousands, Red Cross will come. It's not, they had Red Cross on the street. You see.
But even Mugo, olaba abaddenga baleeta.
When Red Cross comes, I might say to carry you. Because I know you are under threat and Red Cross is overwhelmed. You see, some things are done there. When you look at them, when you see them on a TV, it's as if they have been planned. No. It's that I know Red Cross has come, it has an ambulance, we have put 4 people, but they cannot carry the next 2. Let me carry the 2 whom I'm seeing down. Or let me call them. But if you are not there, Red Cross won't come.
Yeah.
The lawyers who were in Anderson's case came because he was under, when they went to sleep the other night. They never knew that he was going to be arrested.
True.
But he was, when they knew it, they came. They came and they had to help him. But when they were going to sleep the previous night, they never knew about it. Those ones, they never knew about it. That actually, when they were going to sleep, they never had instructions. But because he's arrested, they will respond. It's sometimes it must be. It is instant. And you cannot say you want to do these things in a very orderly way. You must have fast meetings, you must do what. You do what you can do, people will find you there sometimes.
So how best can Ugandan youths get involved in governance? Like to cause something, to cause an impact?
Ugandan youths are not, by the way, there's Nkoba Zambogo. It has a many youth. Thousands. Tens of, actually hundreds of thousands. Bali mukoba za mbogo. Chairperson wa gazuku ke abaganda shokora. Because you are saying it's organized. Because you can go teachers. But Australia.
Yeah, you know.
They have.
They can do something. Lecturers have. The university students have a good president. They have their good presidents association. It's not that they're not organized. It's because the leaders are compromised actually. So it's about both the population and the leadership. But mostly the leadership.
Nanti era bagenda kugamba Nkoba Zambogo was put up Sirwa Nsonga ziri political. It is a cultural organization. It is a cultural club.
So kankubuze. So bwabagamba kabaka tagenda kayunga. Nkoba Zambogo zibije kwatako.
Zichikwatako ekyo.
Museveni gaita abataka n'abatwala n'abawetaka. Nkoba Zambogo zichikwatako.
Babera consent.
Ezo nsonga za Bwakabaka.
Kyengamba togamba nti byabufuzi nebyobuwangwa nebyenfuna tebiriyo byonna biri wamu bwebiti. So omuganda bwasula enjala omwana omuganda abaana abaganda bwebagenda mu ssomero ne batasoma bulungi ne bapenga tebasomye bulungi chairperson wa Nkoba Zambogo nkumuvubuka bimukwatako abyogereko aliridawo. Hey, you see, problem is you want to. There's a way in Uganda people want to differentiate. I heard someone say, "Please go and work for development. Leave politics." Hey, is there any development in those politics? It's not there. Actually, politics is the interest. Actually, it has every component because. Museveni gwogenda ko abataka etaka atemanyinte ate goli politician atemanyinte bwabwangwa ate gogamba bala teba mixing politics nebyo bwangwa tono banti achogede abera mu bwangwa ayogera pointing game abera mu bwangwa sikubavu but then they are stupid. It's scourge.
No, that language, the word Choko says achieve.
Okay. I'm saying it's a scourge. It's a disease. You're getting a witch thief go into your cabinet to use her to manage Uganda. Uganda affairs. And you're saying so you have done a political appointment to manage a cultural institution. And you're saying the cultural institution shouldn't speak about politics. Does that add up?
The same way we bagamba ne bannaddiini ensonga ezifeeno bo baziveemu basigale mu z'eddiini ez'okulyowa emyoyo.
Okay. But SFC is deployed at Bujingo's church.
For security purposes.
No, for omusumba.
For security.
Okusinziira ne bye yayitamu so n'okwongera obukuumi eri omusumba.
SFC aliyo nga tewa but you see that same pastor when byamuyitako yalina mu serikale ndimba byamuyitako motoka yalimo no mu serikale
era gwe gakwata.
So is security political? Security is security political?
Yes.
So if it is political, religion thinks that if security the security is given politically, they should also accept that also religion is politics.
President yabagamba ensonga zino musigale mu kulyowa emyoyo ensonga zino muziveemu.
Kati emyoyo y'abantu enjalirumu abantu ogamba emyoyo Katonda w'amaanyi ate wakisa abantu nga enjali ebaruma tebasomye kyobwolaba.
Because we saw abakulembeze b'eddiini bafather abakwogera ku human rights violations.
Kati kankubuuze.
Nene baba stopping.
Kankubuuze asabira mu kyaki yange. Abadde agenda kukola nti ku Sunday aleta AIFE nomukuba amasasi kyogereko kubanga mumanyi nkyogereko omusabe wange asabira mu kyaki yange abadde agenda kukola a committed person nomukuba amasasi mumanyi nengenda kumuziika kubanga nenda kumuziika nze ng'ow'eddiini nemusabira bwentukako nyogere ku kyamuse basicyogerako
kyogereko
bwenjogerako bagamba kati yageze mu byobufuzi.
Let's talk about the impact of social media. Abavubuka bagikozesezza okubaako eddoboozi lye bateekawo because wetunulira kino ekiri mu Kenya of course kyatandikira ku social media ne kimalira nga kigenze ku street.
Naffe tugikozesezza si bulungi nnyo naffe tugikozesezza abantu bayogera ku potholes za Kampala baddamu palamenti olaba waliwo ebibeerayo eyo si byamaanyi but
but something is being done.
Something is being done. So I do not want us to say it's not doing anything on our governance terrain. It's doing something on our governance terrain. It's doing something. I can't say no.
Naye nga babavubuka bagikozesezza bulungi.
Bagikozesezza ekirala buli kintu kyonna ekiriwo kyonna bakikozesa bubi. Buli kintu kyonna ekiriwo kyonna everything on earth that is available is misused. So do not only use social media or bavubuka. If you have cars are misused. If you have dresses, they are misused. If you have everything you have, if you have bars, some people drink very well, others misuse bars. If you have food is misused. Some people eat food that is junk, others eat food. Like, you cannot remove misuse from anything available, existing. I would want to say that. Even watches are misused. Well, I would go and buy a watch of 100 million shillings. That's misuse of funds. Yet I can have a watch of Ntoro Kumi. They
can afford.
Yes, it's okay, but it's misuse of resources. So even money is misused. But we must. But before you say the youth misuse social media and misuse everything, are the youth of Uganda themselves misused by government? The answer is yes. So I can't go through mistreatment, and when I grow, you want me to treat others fairly sometimes, because maybe I've had history.
But if can we correct a wrong by doing wrong?
No, I am saying everybody must play their part. The citizen, Burora Atuheirwe, and government. If you default, I might be tempted also to default because I'm also human. Yes, do not think that don't leave home. You're a man. People don't have food. You come back in the evening. You say, hey, I want to go motor for bathing. Now I have been seeing people saying the trend on social media when a Muganda man does something. And, so the Muganda man who wants to be treated like a Muganda man, he must do what Muganda men do. If you default on your role as a Muganda man, accept your woman to default on being a Muganda woman.
Yeah, sure.
And it's human and it's natural. It will happen.
Okay.
That's my position.
Nze nooza tuveeko ku nsonga z'abavubuka katono nnyo yadde nga tumanyi nti abavubuka nabo misuse nze nga bo twabafuna bangi nnyo mu council and most of them balekawo emirimu gyabwe bali Canada kwa asylum.
Mbadde ndaba bagamba kyabuwemu bakoze ozambe nali mu office nga sibitegedde nga ojja ennaku nga mukaaga omwana gwe naye najja mu office nagamba ozambe kati nze the music rhythm was South African, like this Zulu sing. So I thought maybe Zuma, who was Zuma and Malema, I didn't understand. So nebandaga kati aba omwana ngo yayimba ozambe, you can condemn him. But what had government done to make sure that maybe his talent is channeled differently? What he could produce was crude that he could produce in his society where he lives. That was the best thing he could have done, and he did it. And you want to condemn him? One, not very educated, but that's what he could do. So those that, if you cannot identify talents as a country, that's why we have poor football, poor netball, because we don't poor music, because we don't identify talents. It's a role of government to put people together in schools and identify talents, develop them for
exactly. Nga bwe tulaba FUFA nti FUFA ino obukiiko obu identifying talent z'abaana na katoyogedde ku football from the grassroots abaana bano ne baba sporting from school tournaments betulaba
now when they support them, do we have good solid academies take them to so they become very good professional footballers? Because when you can identify a talent, but they have no means to develop the talent, the government should put means to develop that talent.
But also we look at the funding.
You see the problem with you think we don't have money. The money we misuse. The money stolen, you see?
Because don't you have budget allocation, but when you have set as what a demo Ministry of Education.
Zengamba zebabba. Zizomeka. Zebabba.
naye ku zebabba we tuba tugenda wennyini tutandise okulaba some reactions okukabinga ababbi abo era ndowooza tulaba nti ababaka abamu bali mu komera.
Salimu Sale yagenda ewa Museveni namugamba kituufu nagula choppers enfu ate bampe ekituga basi ekituga mu Luganda
tetukimanyi kyoge mu Luzungu
that was bribed
ekyo jja mu miro
bamasuja mu miro kya $8 kya $8 as early as the 90s he's still in Kapeka doing his things. You cannot
yakulembera operation wealth creation
ate creation ate abantu bavu ubwavu bweyongera yakuleetinga creation.
Walabye statement ya omukyala Robina Nabbanja Prime Minister waffe
yagambye nti abavu bajja kwatwala ku police.
Ku police batobu
lwaki mwavu nga waliwo programs. We have government ekoze ekisoboka okuyamba
okubanga ebateerawo emiwaatwa bwe muyina okuyita mugagga wale.
Yakwata billions ze sente negamba tugende kuyiga kunywa omwanyi.
Kunywa kawa.
Tunywera mugama bikopo binene.
By the way, there is still that budget allocation.
Yes,
even in this current
it's still
budget.
There.
Yes.
With Mr. Tugume, it is there. They opened coffee shops in Uganda. All of them have collapsed. Taxpayers' money. So you cannot tell. You can't say such things. Continuously, consistently, 1 year in, because that's a government program to develop coffee farmers. I don't know where my father gains from when they give to Gume that money to teach me how to drink coffee.
It is because tata we banakuyigiriza okunywa coffee. You know, our intake of coffee as Ugandans is eriwansi. So kakati banakuyigiriza okunywa kawa. Tata wagenda kuba afunya akatale k'emwanyi because consumption egenda kubeera waggulu. Demand so supply inoli.
Kirasi zo kuyiga omwanyi zibeerayo.
Kirasi zo kuyiga okunywa kawa.
Ngendeyo. Because if you want to giriza, onatugamba kirasi ziri wano.
Mugende muyiga okunywa.
Muje center ziri wano muje muyiga okunywa omwanyi.
Zasokera say but I think this budget bajja tubuulira where exactly. But I remember zaliyoko.
No, tezaliyo. Bakora coffee shops.
Yes.
Coffee centers. Coffee cities. Budget bwe yagwa nazo nezigwa.
Nanti kaka.
Toliyo neji nemwe ekora.
Akasente kali kaweddewo.
If you have been teaching and you're making money, you must make profit. You have capital for a year. After 1 year, you cannot say you're closing.
So kakati abantu bana abenyigidde mu bulyake n'obuli bw'enguzi batandise okubanga bakwatibwa. Should we say nti kakati ensonga y'obuli bw'enguzi saawa zino bagenda kugirinnyako because we've raised voices obuli bw'enguzi bususa and government is not doing anything. Speaker
yagakomyawo
gazaayo gaali gage
tegaali gage
era n'akimanyi